Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have a natural tolerance for alcohol, while others get flushed just from a sip? It turns out, the answer might be hiding in your DNA. Genes play a surprising role in how our bodies react to alcohol, influencing not just our tolerance, but also how much we enjoy it and how it affects us. But genes go way beyond just your relationship with alcohol. This incredible code we inherit from our parents shapes a whole range of things about who we are. It can influence our behavior from our sociability to our risk-taking tendencies. Personality traits like shyness or outgoingness can also have a genetic component. And even some mental health conditions have been linked to specific genes. In short, while life experiences and environment play a huge role, a significant part of who you are is written in the language of your genes. Welcome to my channel. This is the first out of a series of videos where we discuss extensively the relationship between our genes and behavior. In this video, you will be introduced to the broad topic of genetics' impact on human behavior. We will explore the fascinating world of genetic influence, diving deep into how it affects our love for or hate of alcohol, and how it shapes who we are on a much broader scale. So buckle up and get ready to learn how much your DNA has to say about you. What shapes who we are and how we behave? From the earliest days of psychology, a fundamental question has captivated researchers. What shapes who we are and how we behave? Scientists and psychologists have long been invested in untangling this complex relationship, believing that a clearer understanding holds the key to unlocking the mysteries of human behavior, particularly in the realm of psychological disorders. This pursuit of knowledge isn't driven by mere academic curiosity. The hope is that by deciphering the genetic influences on conduct, researchers can develop more effective tools for prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of mental health conditions. By pinpointing specific genes or genetic variations that may increase susceptibility to certain disorders, scientists could pave the way for targeted therapies or even preventative measures. Furthermore, a nuanced understanding of the interplay between genes and environment could shed light on individual differences in response to treatment. This knowledge could also empower healthcare professionals to tailor interventions to each patient's unique genetic makeup, ultimately leading to more personalized and effective treatment plans. To understand how this works, let's first find out what a gene is. Imagine yourself inheriting tiny instruction manuals from your parents. These manuals, called genes, are tucked away within almost every cell of your body. They contain cryptic codes written in a language of molecules that spell out the blueprint for who you are and how you function. A gene is a segment of DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, and a basic unit of heredity in a living organism. It contains the instructions or code for synthesizing proteins vital to cellular and tissue usefulness inside the body. More importantly, it includes orders for passing traits to offspring. For example, the monoamine oxidase A gene predicts greater aggression through impulsive reactivity to negative effect. In simple terms, the monoamine oxidase A gene influences aggression. So, the next time you witness a customer being unnecessarily agitated and rude to a customer service representative, you may be looking at a product of the MAOA gene. Then, there is the dopamine D4 receptor gene, also known as the DRD4 gene. This gene influences various behaviors, including ADHD, externalizing behavior, temperament dimensions, including impulsivity, and is linked to novelty-seeking behaviors. Another prominent model is the relationship between genetics and alcoholism. Studies have demonstrated that individuals with a familial history of alcoholism face a raised risk of becoming alcoholics themselves. Family history is a significant risk factor for alcoholism. If you have close relatives who struggle with alcohol, it's important to be aware of your own potential vulnerability. Also, research on aggression and criminal ways of behaving has revealed genetic influences, with specific individuals showing a genetic inclination towards aggression or criminal propensities. A few studies have been conducted in genetics to understand the relationship between genetics and behavior. The study of twins reared apart. There is the Minnesota study of twins reared apart, in which two identical twins raised separately were studied. This study confirmed that heredity strongly influences personality traits, cognitive expertise, and psychological health. Then there are the genome-wide association studies, GWAS, which aim to identify genes responsible for depression and anxiety, among other complex attributes. These studies pioneer the use of large-scale genetic data sets from a vast population of people. Researchers were able to map the genetic alterations that account for the progression of these neuropsychiatric pathologies. There are a few prominent names to be thankful for their pioneering work in helping us see genetic influence as a contributor to various behaviors. First, we have Robert Plomin, the renowned psychologist and geneticist, known for his pioneering and amazing work on behavioral traits heritability. Then, there is also the more well-known Dr. George Judith Rich Harris, who has a particular idea about the influence of parents on behavior. But is there a consensus that genetics alone influences behavior? Not quite. This is because, regarding the factors that determine how behavior is formed, a second and probably more popular is the environment and its components. The bone of contention has always been, to what extent? This question leads us to one of the most divisive arguments regarding understanding human behavior: nature versus nurture. The nature versus nurture conundrum remains a focal concentration in psychology, which has drawn researchers and scholars as they try to decipher the underlying foundations of human behavior. Promoters of the nature viewpoint believe that genetic components significantly impact deeply by shaping our behavior and highlighting inherited traits propagated across generations. However, advocates of the nurture viewpoint argue that environmental stimuli, including upbringing, socialization, and life experiences, have the greatest impact on conduct. In her attempts to explore and define the relationship between genes and behavior, Dr. George Judith Rich Harris demonstrated the reductionist view's shortcomings and how environmental determinism has been overemphasized. She has also pointed out the need to integrate genetic influences into psychological scrutiny through her work. Plomin shows behaviors as the outcome of the finely woven fabric of genes and the environment, which points to the crucial roles of nature and nurture. Here are the main things to take away from the argument. This argument dates back to the time of Plato and Aristotle. It was only after the 19th century that the discussion acquired an unmistakable quality within the field of psychology. The argument centered around how much genetic factors, nature, or environmental influences, nurture, shape human ways of behaving. Promoters of the natural viewpoint believe that genetic components significantly impact and profoundly shape ways of behaving by highlighting inherited traits propagated across generations. Alternately, advocates of the nurture viewpoint argue that environmental stimuli, including upbringing, socialization, and life experiences, have the most significant impact on conduct. Despite both points of view, studies have shown that social genetics has revealed that genetic and environmental variables contribute to the results. Even though genetics may be the foundation that could explain several behaviors or traits, the environment brings these genetic tendencies to the forefront, either increasing or decreasing their strength. Fortunately, as technology advances and research methodologies refine, the area of genetic effects on human conduct is developing. With genetic sequencing and customized medicine, researchers can trace specific genes to personality disorders and upgrade results for individuals inclined toward social traits because of genetic elements. This means we are at the precipice of knowing exactly why some of our uncles act crazy sometimes. Also, further work on epigenetics, the study of how environmental influences can balance gene articulation, is slowly eroding the perimeter of understanding how genes and the environment affect our behavior. Epigenetics can help us understand how the genetic code itself can be changed with the help of environmental factors that cause the genes to be expressed without changing the natural sequence of the genetic code. This series isn't just about understanding the science, it's about understanding ourselves. By unraveling the complex relationship between genes, environment, and behavior, we gain a deeper appreciation for the rich tapestry of human experience. Do you want personalized mental health insights through genetics? Subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you can stay updated on the latest genetic and psychological discoveries. In the next episode, we will be exploring real-world case studies of genetics on behavior.